What happens with the summertime blues?
Well, your plants are under heat stress, insect attack. It's especially on your squash and cucumbers, they get the yellow fungus, and they get weak. It weakens the plants. This will help that because the plant will be stronger, faster growing, and it can. If you keep checking your plants and moving the old dead leaves and big leaves and all that, that plant will last a whole lot longer.
All right, Popo. What can people do in the summertime whenever it's hot and their plants are getting the summertime blues?
Well, you need to make sure they stay hydrated. You need to keep the slow release nitrogen on them, which is worm compost. When you keep the slow release nitrogen, it don't burn the plant, but it's there continuously. It's not like you go out there and pour nitrogen on them to fertilize, and what happens then is crushes them, gives them a big rush, and then it dies off. This will sit there and just keep on producing slow and steady. Your plants are healthy, the root system grows faster. It actually helps kill off the nemodes and the eggs and some pests. It's not an insecticide and it's not a fertilizer. Worm poop is not a fertilizer. It is a organism, living organism, and it don't build up salt like fertilizer in your garden. Okay. Here again. What is the temperature today? 95, 96?
97.
There's a heat advisory.
There's a heat advisory. Young plants look like they wilted?
Nope.
They're not gonna wilt. And that bed is what, 3-4 months old? I'm just developing this soil. That soil over there is 4 years old. Look at it. You have to have the soil. And the only reason these plants are not wilted and they're producing on just a first year bed, I don't buy potting soil. I don't buy bedding soil. I make my own soil to go in my raised beds. This worm poop and the worms I got in there with this is keeping them plants healthy, and they should be wilted down in this temperature. Look at them. They're
Hey
beautiful.
there, let's learn about deep watering in your garden with Pawpaw Sammy. At the end of this video, you will learn why deep watering is a universally accepted horticultural technique.
So you need these towers. It's a multi-purpose system. The bigger your bed, the more you need, of course. You might need 3 or 4 this side, maybe 2 that side, maybe 5 this side. It don't matter. But once you get it in there, put your worms in it, it's a multi-purpose. You got a worm bed, you're developing your worms in vermicompost, and you deep water. You're getting down underneath the mulch. That cardboard and compost right there stops water from going into the ground. And worm towers in the garden bed is a whole new ball game.
So you've taken one of these pipes and you put it in the ground to deep water your plants. Why do you do that?
If you looked at our previous videos, I preached thick compost, cardboard, thick compost. And when you water it, the water don't penetrate all the way to the ground. You're wetting compost, wetting a little cardboard, but your ground's going dry.
That's true.
So you take this, come see. You take this and you put it down in your ground, right there. You water that, fill it up, okay? And cut the seed around over to him. Look here. You reach in there and you fill that full of water. Can you see it?
And these can also double as feeders for your worms. And we
Right.
already filmed a video on that, so we'll go ahead and link it up here or over here on the cards.
And yes, you see the bed when you get deep watering under your compost. Basil, blueberries, marigolds, tomatoes, all right there just piled in one bed. This pipe can be bought from the store pre-drilled. It's actually a sewer tail line to drain sewer septic tanks. Okay, cutting it could be a saw, a knife. You can wrap a nylon string around it and sew it back and forth and cut this pipe. It's thin walled. It's not really complicated. This in your garden with the plant. good return. Alright, now pull that back. Pack your dirt around it. Pack your compost around it. Put your compost on top. Whoa, I'm losing them. Now these worms will go down in there, find their comfort level, and they'll stay there. You can still direct water on top of that for deep watering. Worms can actually survive in water for a day or two. Okay? Now, under the right conditions. Now, you water it heavy, they'll just go down and come out one of these holes down here under the compost. Okay? And then they'll spread out till they get comfortable. As it dries, they'll come back to the water. It needs to keep this good and damp. I put the bedding down deep, and I put some dry compost on top of it. Then I put some more bedding, wet bedding, and then put the worms on top of that. So I need to soak it down good, which you take the water down in there and wet the dry pine straw I put in there, and then those worms will go on down. They'll go down, find their own level spot where they want to be, and that's the end of it. That'd be a big worm tower there for this bed. In fact, this is not original. They come out of the Far East. They have a lot of deserts over there. They found out if you put the tower in the middle and saturate it with water, the roots grow toward the water and come to the water. By doing that, they conserve water and the plants get what they need to grow. Does that make sense? Oh, without plants, once or twice a week, whatever. But if you got plants growing, you can hit it maybe 2 or 3 times a week. But really, if you got a doubt, you come over here and you go under the compost and the cardboard, and if it's dry, water. All right? The idea is keep the moisture in the ground. In other words, just check it out.
A key benefit of deep watering is that you are training the roots of your plants to grow downwards towards the water. This makes the root system of trees and plants much stronger.